Hello everybody, I'm Jessica and welcome back to Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road, episode 4. In the last episode, we got a lot of backstory for Menou, right? We got, like, earlier, right near the beginning of the series, we got the bare minimum of her backstory, right? That she was a survivor from the town that was turned all into whiteness, I'm guessing. But now we got a significantly larger portion of it. We know what her quote unquote upbringing was like. We know that it was her desire to become like Flair, that it wasn't just Flair trying to meld and mold Menou into a copy of herself. No, it was Menou's own desire. We know that Menou was what do they call it? Bleached? Blanched. Yeah, blanched. Which is kind of a weird word to use because blanching is like vegetables, throwing vegetables on some hot water and quickly removing them and like running some cold water over them to quickly blanch them. That's that's the word. That's the cooking technique. Uh, so I don't know, bleaching or blanking or something like that would probably be a better word to use it, but I guess blanching does get the point across since it has a similar sound, I'm guessing. Uh, and that apparently made Menou very susceptible to all sorts of changes in her personality because she lacked any. We know that Menou is an amazing mage. She has some amazing skills, some amazing talent, but she's lacking in the mana department. She can use super powerful skills, super powerful magic, and she can use it really well, but she can't use it a lot because, well, her mana pool isn't the greatest. And I'm gonna have to play around with exposure a little. Yeah, yeah, that's what I get when recording in daylight. I never have this issue with artificial light. With daylight, always. And of course, we got Menou into some investigation. The Archbishop told Menou to investigate some disappearances, and in turn, Menou told Momo to investigate them because she has a hot date with Akari. They're going to tour the city, see what it has to offer, see its interesting places and whatnot. And Momo is gonna be doing the work. Poor Momo. Being Momo is suffering. Being Momo is suffering. But let's not think about that. Let's not talk about that. Let's give you subs. Uh, I forgot what I need to do. Stabs, sound, and we can start. By the way, super sorry that this episode is late, but for some godforsaken reason, my body decided it needed 16 hours of consecutive sleep. I've no clue why. I just slept for 16 hours straight. Beats me. Okay, let's not talk about my sleep. Let's talk about this episode. And let's start it in 3, 2, 1, go. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. I like how Menou is the narrator here. Menou suddenly got some pang of pain in her chest, and she doesn't know why. Menou, Momo. Can I turn on auto explode? auto exposure again. Whatever, it's gonna be what it is. They're having a grand old time. Oh, that was quick. That was a quick summary. Says someone who benefits from people being easygoing around her. Well, that's very straightforward. That's extremely straightforward. She knows she will. Yep, I'm going to kill her. Exactly. Earl Grey with lemon. Hmm. With our knowledge from the previous episode, is there some added significance to the opening, I wonder? White lilies, I mean, classic symbolism, right? But anything besides that? We haven't heard from her in an episode. I wanted to say in a long while, but no, we haven't heard about her from her in an episode. There's the Thought Sword, which is apparently one of humanity's greatest mistakes. I still wonder what's the deal with the sword, right? I thought it's people who arrive here that have pure concepts, but it seems like it's this sword that possesses the pure concept of soul. Menou is really a lady killer, isn't she? Momo, Akari, Orwell probably thinks that if only she was like 70 years younger. Great source of information. Yep. Huh, so the palace is plotting something with the noblesse. Interesting. I would have sooner suspected the church, honestly. Sure, the noblesse are portrayed as very selfish and self centered, but I honestly would have expected the church to be behind it. Go into a bath with her. She'd fucking love it. She'd probably bleed out because of the nosebleed, but she'd love it. I guarantee. A pair of scrunchies? No, one is actually for Momo. Now make something for Akari. Or she's gonna pout at you. A headband? Okay. That's cute looking. Blush on Menou's face. So stoic, so cold. And yet she was taken aback just a little bit. What's gonna happen? Because it's only episode 4. I know Akari ain't dying here. She's very prominent in the OP. So what's it gonna be? Will it turn out that the chamber actually cannot kill her? Because she rewinds time anyway? Or will Akari go against the church wishes? Only two possibilities. Either Akari saves herself, or Menou saves Akari. Oh, hello! I love the music in the background. It's a new motherfucker! A Western music. Ashunachama. Okay, fine by me. And they're gonna be partners. They're gonna be the unlikely bedfellows. Strange bedfellows, sorry, that's not the correct term to use. Nice. A gift from Menou? I'm assuming that's why she's so attached to those ribbons? Yep. Must be a gift from Menou. Most probably. Spot on. Yep. Yep. Gift from Menou as a child. All the time, I'm betting. Huh. Unhappy familial relationships? I mean, that's pretty much a given when it comes to royalty, let's be honest here. Okay, what's gonna happen? Will Akari decide against it? Will Menou run to her rescue? Will the altar just not work on her? Are you? Are you sure about that? Sure, you might care about killing quickly, but I don't think everybody does. I think some people actually care about the opposite. Secret place or under the palace? That kind of looks like a summoning chamber, doesn't it? Oh, she is. She is. You know that you're soulmates, essentially. You feel it. Your master explicitly told you that once you get over all the bad stuff and you find. Once you find happiness, you will have surpassed her. Flair explicitly told you that you should seek happiness. Teleportation? Are they gonna activate it accidentally and summon Akari here? Are some priests helping them of the church? Maybe even Orwell herself? The forced do, however. True, makes it easy. Orwell. Must be Orwell. Just break the sigil, yeah. Yo, Menou! Orwell is really evil! Go rescue Akari! It's all a grand conspiracy, the church is evil! Calling it now! Calling it now! Of course Orwell is fucking evil. Of course she is! Of course she did! Cathedral! I cast anti-cathedral! Red gem that was used to attack the fucking train. Can't you cast magic without scripture? I'm assuming you're good enough to just about be able to do that. Rewind? A little bit of a YouTube rewind? The whole place is collapsing, isn't it? Of course. Dragon! Uh, that's something I did not expect. Something I did not have in my little notebook. Corpses? Necromancy. To create red gems to summon the red things is Orwell. Fight with the final boss so early. Akari, you better get the fuck away. Please don't start with the "my reasons are beyond your comprehension." So what's your reasoning again, Orwell? Yes, please. Please tell me. Please tell us. You want eternal youth? Of course. It's rewind time! Rewind all of them to fucking Zygotes. Or to Ash. And you were waiting until they summon someone with a pure concept fit to make you forever young. Okay. Everything's falling into place. Everything's genuinely falling into place. And I love the music. It can force Akari's concept to act out. What happened to Menou? Huh. Hmm. Interesting. And Menou will serve as a conduit. A catalyst. Okay. So she's gonna summon minions. Hmm. That sounds like a very sticky situation to get out of. And a cliffhanger. And a cliffhanger. If that's what we're seeing in episode 4, what's gonna happen in episode 12? Jesus Christ! Boss battle not even halfway through the season. Holy hell. Wish there were some lyrics for the ED and for the OP. Regression. Memories, soul, spirit. Will Akari save herself by rewinding time after all? Is her pure concept more powerful than the whole erasing chamber? It's a possibility. Okay, that's Revue Starlight. This is Virgin Road. Yes, this is Virgin Road. Okay. End. End. So, let's go through it again. But, not before taking a look at some theories of mine. Let's go through them. Let's go through them really quick. People in the classroom are Menou's victims. We have no confirmation for that. The very best friend is the summoned girl, so the friend that Menou sees in the classroom is Akari. We have no confirmation for that, but it seems to be that way. Orwell is evil, so is the church. I'm gonna actually take a. Where do I have those? I have such a mess in my. There we go. Green and orange. That'll have to do. And I move my camera. Orwell is evil, so is the church. I think Orwell is evil is confirmed. So is the church. Not quite confirmed yet. Menou will warm up and in the end save Akari from execution. I guess it's confirmed, right? Definitely the part about warming up to Akari and she wants to save Akari from execution. I say it counts. And in the end, save Akari from execution. There we go. Momo has to hunt down Menou, or Momo joins Menou on her escape with Akari. We don't know that quite yet. I mean, I can see that this is where it's going, that Momo will of course help Menou and Akari, and Ashuna will probably join them. The four of them will be on the run from the church. But actually, that's worth noting down as its very own theory. Why not? Momo, Menou, Akari, Ashuna, travel, and run from church. Also, a curious tidbit. Menou, Akari, Momo, Ashuna. 2 MA pairs. I don't think it has any significance, but it's curious how it works. Pair up with priestess to control otherworldly powers. I have no clue what I had in mind here. I'm gonna be honest with you. Menou goes against the church. Well, that's all but confirmed. Akari has bad memories from the original world. There's been some moments and some tidbits that would suggest such, but nothing's been confirmed yet. Menou used to be classmates with Akari, then got isekai'd and lost memories. The bit about her being isekai'd, about her being one of the lost ones, unlikely, especially after what we learned from this episode, that blanching, removing the person's memories and personality, leaves only the pure concept behind. It doesn't work through erasing personality, memories, and the pure concept. I thought that this is the mechanic, that Menou's personality, memories, and pure concept were erased, and she was left as a husk. But apparently, they can erase only the memories and the personality, but not the pure concept itself. I wonder, should I... used to be classmates? Well, that's unconfirmed, but lost memories, that's entirely confirmed. Improperly attached concept is unstable. What about properly attached one? That is no answer. And the last theory, Akari could rewind human errors. I thought they might want to use Akari to rewind those human errors, but no, Orwell just wants to use Akari to rewind her body to her young state. I say Akari does it willingly and just fucking rewinds her to a toddler. Why not? Okay, that's theory segment done. Let's go over the episode now. My neighbors are renovating their house again. Their flat, their apartment. They've been at it for at least 2 years now, on and off. Sometimes there's a month of complete silence. Sometimes there's a month of non-stop bassos, drills, banging, bumping. Why? How do you renovate your apartment for 3 fucking years and counting? I don't understand people. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, having a grand old time on a date. There are even gondolas. Not the Fortune gondolas, the Venice gondolas. Ice cream. Do you want to take a bath together? You're a little too intimate. Meeting you feels like fate. Same goes for Menou. Same goes for Menou. And you better not regret turning this down later. I'm willing to bet she will. If she doesn't already, she will eventually. OP, OP, OP. Anything significant here in the OP? Okay, assuming in here, Menou goes to fight against Flare. Could it be that they managed to escape, but okay, the drill doesn't pick up on my mic, thankfully. Could it be that Orwell survives and sends Flare after them? Orwell sends flare after them. Menou defeats Flare. Defeats Flare. And I'm imagining a moment when where Menou defeats Flare, and Flare is all like, "Yes, you deserve this win. You are surrounded with friends. You've been so happy all this time. You have Momo. You have Akari. You have Ashuna. You achieved something I never did. You've surpassed me. Good job, Menou." Noting it down. As Flare dies, she congratulates Menou on happy life and friends. There we go. And it's certainly gonna be a bittersweet moment of Menou essentially having to kill her own parent. Your mama wants to feel your warmth up close and in person. I was honestly expecting at this moment that Akari is gonna bust out of the bath and start screaming for Menou to join her in the bath, and Momo is gonna lose her shit. A little bit of a comedic moment, but no, nothing like that happened. Yeah, stuff's been happening in the sewers. Of course, it's been happening in the sewers. Noblesse territory, noblesse, or however you pronounce it. I could stay a little longer. Well, what do you know? You're gonna have the chance, because it seems like you're not getting back. And it honestly seems like the whole thing with the church being in a possession of a chamber that can get rid of lost ones that have the power that prevents them from dying by natural means is complete and utter bullshit. They have a chamber that can blanch people. They don't have a chamber that can kill the unkillable. Which makes me wonder what's gonna become of Akari. Right? That's actually interesting. Uh, they will have to look for a way to send her back. Like a legit way to send her back. That's probably the only way they can ensure their world's safety. Or they will have to try and find a way to contain Akari's pure concept somehow. It hasn't been done before, but has it been tried? Right? Or was it always a situation where the Lost One just gains power, goes mad with power, and then the people are trying to contain that power somehow? What if Akari learns of her power, and learns of the human errors, and learns that she has to control her powers somehow, and she's willing to do so? She's willing to subject herself to, like, I don't know, power limiting collar or power limiting rings or something, something like that. Has it been tried, like, willingly, with the willing participation of the Lost One? Right? That's a question. How will they deal with Akari's powers? Because from what I heard, I think someone in the comments told me that uh, the the powers, the pure concepts, are particularly dangerous because the personality of the bearer eventually grows in accordance, so to speak, with the pure concept. If someone's power is fire, then is pure concept of fire, then they slowly grow into an arsonist, essentially, right? Someone who believes that purge it with the cleansing fire and whatnot. If someone's pure concept is death, they eventually start believing that maybe death is the ultimate salvation and the only way to save people and all creatures of this world is to have them all die, or some bullshit like that. Um, what if that can be stopped? Or what if there's a pure concept whose influence on the person's personality is actually positive, right? How big is the sample size of lost ones who were causing trouble, like significant trouble, before they started killing off everybody? We know of the four great human errors, sure, but that makes it a sample size of four, essentially. Or rather, the four people responsible for the four major human errors were the actually dangerous ones. What about others? How many others there have been? And what sort of issues have they caused? Like, sure, we know that the human errors were like the major events on a continental scale, but what was the scale of the smaller events? Because maybe it can be handled somehow. Graham is famous for this pretty cloth. Menou is great with her hands. You may too, which means there's one for each of us. It doesn't fit your hairstyle, my girl. You're not gonna use a scrunchie. Menou, sure, she could use a scrunchie, but then she'd lose her additional pair of ears. Scrunchie doesn't fit you, so don't ask for it. It's for Momo. I wonder if Momo is gonna wear them. I wonder. Actually, I'm gonna rewind a little to the opening. What does Momo wear in the OP? Yeah, Momo appears somewhere around this bit. Ribbons. Okay, Momo wears ribbons in the OP, not scrunchies. And of course, Akari is pouting, and her pouting face is amazing. You're not getting me anything. Here, it's a headband. And Menou started having doubts very soon. I don't think she felt quite this kind of a bond towards anybody before Akari. And it was clearly shown when they met. It was clearly shown that they're essentially some kind of soulmates. That Akari isn't just yet another isekai protagonist, that Akari is very special. At least to Menou, if not to the entire world. I still have it noted down that Akari might be able to rewind the four major human errors. Which is again an interesting thought. Could she be the healing force of this world instead of being the destructive force? Could, in the future, and it's probably, definitely out of the scope of this season itself, but perhaps in the scope of the original light novel or manga or whatever. Could Akari potentially rewind other lost ones to the time when they were in their original world? Worth noting down. Could Akari rewind people to their OG worlds? Question mark. Momo is finding grand conspiracy, but no, it's not a grand conspiracy, it's just Ashuna, who's also been investigating. And it's interesting because Ashuna is is a noblesse. She's part of the nobles, and yet she's investigating a grand conspiracy by nobles. I think that's gonna bring them into a team, essentially. The way, kind of like the way I noted it here, that Momo, Menou, Akari, and Ashna will run from the church and will travel together. Uh, I'm assuming Ashuna will go against the noblesse. She's gonna try to reveal this grand conspiracy and fix it somehow, or at least, you know, reveal it and hold the ones responsible accountable. And Momo and Menou are going to do the same for the Faust. That's my assumption. Ashna is going to go against the nobles. Momo and Menou are going to go against the church. And since the entire world seems to consist mostly of just nobles and the church, and some peasants who have really uh, no power over anything, so they are not even a part of the equation unless there's some, huge uprising. They are essentially against the world. They will be essentially against the world. Noblesse will want them dead because they uncovered a secret of the noblesse, a grand conspiracy. Uh, the church wants them dead because they uncovered the grand conspiracy of the church. That's going to be an interesting situation. Most certainly. Oh, fuck. And of course, the ribbons are important. They're gifts from Menou. I wonder about the scrunchie that Menou has, the black scrunchie. Did she receive it from Flair or did she receive it from Momo? Both are equally probable. She touched her headband, her scrunchie, whatever it is, when she was thinking about getting a gift from Momo. So it could be either. It could be a gift from Flair, and she reminisced about how Flair got it for her as a thanks or as a farewell gift or something. Or she could be reminiscing about how she was given it by Momo and how she should give something to Momo. Hmm. Shouldn't be here in this world. Well, she's gonna be here for a while longer. Secret place for a ritual. Fleur always defied common sense, for better or for worse. You're in this world for a reason. I'm assuming what Orwell means here is her reason is to be a conduit, is to be a catalyst for the pure concept. This is a teleportation test site. And yeah, how did they manage to reproduce it without extensive Faust knowledge? Could it be that they actually have some Faust knowledge? Yep, I assumed you were on an internal investigation. Nope. She's on a bullshit investigation. Yep, the noblesse and the Faust are conspiring together. Of course they are. Of course they are. I mean, anytime, pretty much anytime, you have two major factions that are evil and are fighting against each other, seemingly on the surface, chances are they're conspiring together, be it two opposing political parties, be it to countries, be it to otherwise groups, be it to companies who seem like competitors but are really setting up prices. Every time they conspire, every single fucking time. That's pretty much a rule. Yeah, they must have collaborated through this underground passageway. And yeah, that was kind of weird how the Faust wasn't able to uncover anything with their extensive and pretty much exclusive ability to use such powerful magic. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. That while the noblesse can use some magic, they can't use it quite to the extent the Faust can. But I might be mistaken here. I might be entirely mistaken. Hmm. Magecraft for communication, that's exclusive to the Faust, yeah. So who could have blocked it? Who could have knew about this technology enough to disrupt it? Well, only the Faust. Thankfully, thankfully it seems like... Whoa, fuck. Thankfully it seems like the perfect and easy way to destroy magic is to just physically destroy the sigil. That's very interesting. That's very, 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 very interesting. And it seems to be the case even with the scriptures. And perhaps even with weapons. I didn't get a good look at Ashuna's sword. I don't think the hilt is actually shown on a close-up of any sort. No. But I'm assuming the way it works is magic has to be inscribed upon something. And only when it is inscribed can it take effect. You can inscribe it on a piece of paper and keep it inside of a scripture. You can inscribe it on a wall. You can inscribe it on a weapon. You can inscribe it in the air. But you have to inscribe it somewhere to cast it. You can't just shout out the name of the spell and just cast it verbally. If your hands are tied, if your feet are tied, and you can't draw symbols in the air or in the dust on the ground or somewhere, you cannot cast magic. That's my understanding of it. And if that is the case, I love it. I love how their spell books are pretty much exactly books of spells, not instructions on how to cast a spell. They are books of spells, collections of spells. In case of Momo, she needs to find a particular page with a spell and then cast it. In case of Menou, she can use it without opening the scripture, which tells us a lot about her mastery. She can essentially invoke the magic on a selected page, knowing what page it's on, and without having to look at the symbol or directly interface with it. That's a very interesting magic system. I love it. And this is a very funny thing, actually, that happened with Orwell. As soon as she's revealed to be evil, the quality of of her rendering is just so increased. Right? Here she looks like an old granny. Here she looks menacing. Many more wrinkles, the cracks in her lips, additional lines on her eyes. Right? And even when she turns towards Menou, she's still so overly detailed. There was one more frame where she was even more zoomed in. And you could see the veins in her eyes. Where was it? Also, this. This. Holy shit, this frame. Holy shit, this frame. stunning. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it really gives so much weight to the fact. Who's calling me? I'm gonna call them back. It really gives additional weight to the whole scene, with Orwell being so creepy in those details. Right? Very, maybe not quite Uncanny Valley, but very out of this world, kind sorta. Right? Like other characters are have a fairly simplistic art style to them, right? It's not the height of like anime art. Nowhere near close. It's basically just a splotch of color and a splotch of darker color for shadows. There's no detail on those characters whatsoever. And then there's Orwell. It really shows how different she is. And it really brings up the creep factor. Dragon Automata. It pisses me off that I have to fight hand in hand with you, but sure, just this once. It's not like I want to do this, baka. I love Momo. You have the missing women. And the slow descent on glowing stairs. It's giving me so heavy, like, Satsuki vibes from Kill la Kill. Or I guess age-wise, comparing her to Ragyo would probably be more apt, but Satsuki always at the moment of descending on stairs that are just levitating over nothing. All that's missing is a click of her heels. You become more underhanded and learn to manipulate the young. You have yet to be as vigilant or as underhanded as Flare. I wonder what's going on with Flare. Is Flare in on it? Has Flare been imprisoned somewhere? Has Flare run from Orwell and is hiding somewhere? Is Flare actively fighting the church? Or has Flare resigned to her fate of being a church's lapdog? And she's listening to all the everything that Orwell says and executes her orders without fail, which would put her in direct opposition against Menou, which would bring us to that theory of mine where Menou has to defeat Flare. Interesting. I can see Flare going both ways. If they want to bring up her badassery, she's gonna help Menou in some way, shape, or form. If they want to establish her as a very tragic character, which she already is, a pretty much tragic character, but if they want to crank that up to 11, they will show her resigned to her fate. Right? I got orders from Orwell, and I have to kill you lot. What can I do? Join you? No, I can't. My cat is meowing. Forgive me for a moment. Sorry for that. My cat somehow managed to get herself inside of my couch. She entered my couch, but she couldn't exit. She could make her way in, but she couldn't make her way out. Okay, where were we? Fleur. Right, Fleur. Badass or tragic character. If badass, she joins. If tragic, she has to die and resign herself to her fate. Comparison to Gazef Stronov from Overlord, where he had the chance to join, but he wanted to stick to his rules, stick to his guns, and thus was killed by Aints. That's where I was at. Okay, next. You wouldn't understand, all you do is kill. It certainly helps that the church raises the priestesses to just do nothing but kill. It certainly helps. Do not question your orders. Do not question your own morals. Actually, get rid of your morals. They're just in the way. Get rid of your everything, of your empathy. Just listen to the orders. If I order kill, you kill. It certainly helps controlling them. Which makes me wonder, how does someone like Orwell rise to power? Interesting. Interesting. Could it be that not every priestess can actually be trained that way? And that they do retain some ambitions, and that they do retain the questioning of their orders, and they do follow their own principles and whatnot? Could certainly be the case. Could certainly be the case. When you help too many people, you come to loathe their pleas for help. Why are you not helping us? We demand more. The clingy voices never leave me alone. Well, you shouldn't have been a priestess then, or you should have stepped down, but of course you won't, because you want the power. You want all of the power you have, but you want none of the responsibility. You don't want any of the annoyance that comes with being a higher up. That's essentially Orwell here. Yeah, a barrier. Want to know why I would do all of that? Because I want to be young. I helped so many, can't I get a little something in return? I just want to be young. Honestly, pretty fucking good as far as motivations for a villain go. Honestly, pretty fucking good. You don't see that often. Very often, villains have either a completely nonsensical or a non-existent motive, like I'm evil, so I have to be evil. See that puppy? I'm gonna kick it. Why? Because I'm evil. Or the villain has some vaguely kind of sort of agreeable motive, like I want to unite the world because the world isn't united, and under my rule everybody will live good. Or I want to get rid of war, and that's why I'm going to kill everybody who's war capable. Yes, Chris, your reasoning was kind of bullshit. We don't very often see villains that have strong, actual, genuine motivations, but ones that are very self-centered. Yeah, motivations like I want to achieve immortality, I want to be rich, I want to rule the world because of power, not because of some lofty goals of uniting humanity, uh, getting rid of poverty and whatnot. But no, I just want to rule the world because it's fucking cool. I just want to rule the world. What else do you want? Right? We don't often see purely selfish villains, because to be selfish, you have to have some actual desire, right? You could say that villains who are evil for the sake of being evil are selfish, but are they really? Are they? Can you really say they're selfish? That they're doing everything to achieve their goals, no matter the cost of it? No, they aren't, because they don't have goals besides just being evil. And being evil isn't a goal, it's a way of going after a goal. So it's refreshing to see a villain like Orwell. My experiment using young girls wasn't getting anywhere. Okay, so she initially wanted to like suck the youth out of young girls to rejuvenate herself. Well, that clearly didn't work. So she gave the noblesse the technology to summon people in exchange for them overlooking her little experiments. Sure, makes sense. I have the pure concept of time at my disposal. That was the goal. She gave them the ability to summon people in hopes, perhaps, of one day finding someone who's been summoned with the pure concept of life, or the pure concept of youth, or the pure concept of age, or the pure concept of immortality, or something similar to that. Well, what do you know? They summon someone with a pure concept of time. Also, one thing worth noting, uh, I really like how in this world summoning someone from Japan is entirely a gamble. It's a dice roll what you're gonna get. Are you gonna get someone with the pure concept of destruction? Or are you going to get someone with the pure concept of life? Or are you going to get someone with the pure concept of pencil lead? I guess your scribes are never gonna run out of pencil lead, but that's about it. Maybe he can turn a continent into a pile of pencil lead, but that's hardly useful, right? I really like it. I really, really like it. Um, there is a trend, or rather, yeah, it's still kind of continuing a trend of I've been isekai to another world, but my power is completely useless? Question mark, question mark, question mark, shocked emoji. It never works because their talent is never actually useless. They eventually learn to use their talent in useful ways, always. And the premise of the manga, light novel, anime, whatever, just gets completely thrown overboard. Right? Like the premise of Arifureta. I know that Arifureta is a whatchamacallit, is a parody show essentially, cranking up all the edginess to 11 and whatnot. But there are shows and manga like Arifureta. There's a manga about a blacksmith, a dude who has it's not isekai, but it's what I like to call isekai light, which is the isekai without the isekai. Everything is exactly like it would be in an isekai, but the main character is actually a native to the world. Uh, and he's a blacksmith, and it's supposed to be like, oh, ho, ho, the worst profession. I have a spear that can defeat demons. I have a sword that can defeat demons. I have a hammer that can defeat demons. You just have a blacksmith hammer, ha ha. And it would be cool if it continued that way, of him essentially, I don't know, making weapons for other heroes or stuff like that. But he's eventually able to make weapons that are also able to defeat demons, because not just any weapon can defeat a demon, only the weapons that the people kind of born with that weapon have. But what do you know? He's a blacksmith. He can make 100 bajillion more billion swords that can defeat demons and go all Gate of Babylon, or whatever the move from Fate is called, where he summons all thousand swords. What was the point of establishing him as being just a mere blacksmith, right? And there's a lot of media like that. And what was I talking about? Besides complaining about I was summoned with the weakest profession, but it's really the strongest. I don't remember. I don't remember what I was talking about. Some vague apropos to talking about how summoning people in this world is a gamble. I don't know what the point of my rant was, sorry. Even with your phenomenal skills in magecraft, pure concept isn't something you can manipulate at will. Well, actually, you can. If you wipe someone, they are completely subject to your, to your molding. You can mold them into anybody. You can mold them into someone who can use their pure concept at your beck and will, at your beck and call. So, yeah. We sourced a fragment of white from Star Husk in the northern continent. I'm assuming that's the town where Menou was saved from. Star Husk. I love this name. I love this name, Star Husk. Not even an otherworlder can resist its power to blanch everything out. And the Menou makes for the perfect catalyst. And here's a blood angel that can defeat you. And as always, the villain makes the mistake of not defeating the hero themselves. They're just summoning weak villains, weak minions that are going after the hero, and the hero wins. And the villain is like, no, no, how could you defeat my overpowered angel of death? I will destroy you. But aha, the time that was spent fighting the overpowered angel of death was the time the friends of the main hero needed to arrive to their help. And they all take down the main villain together. I wonder if that's how it's gonna play out. It usually does, but there are many things that Virgin Road does that are anything but usual. So I have my hopes up. Okay. Um, Great episode, as always. I don't think there's been a bad episode of Virgin Road so far, and I don't think there will be. Uh, just a great series and very thought out. That's an adjective I used once when it comes to Symphogear, that it's a very thought out series, and I have to use it when talking about Virgin Road as well. Everything that has happened, everything that was shown, had a purpose. Everything had a reason. Menou being a blashed kid isn't insignificant. It's important because now we understand what blanching is. It's important because we know the potential of someone who's blanched, the potential for manipulation. I don't know, introducing Orwell early also wasn't for nothing. The whole investigation also wasn't for nothing. Everything came together in the single episode. Everything. Even Ashuna and her girls. I like it. It's a very interesting way of storytelling, kind of, sorta. You often have like parallel threads going in the story, and then some of those threads converge at some point, and then get resolved, and then more threads sprout out, and they go forward. But there are some threads, minor and major, that are going even through the points of other threads merging and collapsing and resolving. The structure in Virgin Road so far seems to be that there is one main but background thread of what's the deal with summoning with Akari. How are they gonna deal with that? And there are many smaller threads, right? Ashuna's investigation, Momo, Menou, all that stuff that are all collapsing in one spot. Besides all the secrets, there isn't any thread that's continuing alongside this today's point of collapse. Once today's matter is resolved, new threats will arise from that, with the background thread of mysteries around the summoning and whatnot being kept there. Interesting. I might be completely wrong. I might be talking out of my ass. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's my reception of this episode, and I like it. I like Orwell as a villain. Her motivation is bullshit, but it isn't bullshit for her, which is what matters. It isn't bullshit in the context of the world. I like that every character is slowly coming together, including Ashna and Momo. What else is there to say? It's certainly a very sticky situation. Akari certainly doesn't have any combat capability, so she can't really fight her way out. Um, Menou is in a very precarious position where she is up against a blood angel without her scripture, and even after she defeats the blood angel, she's against the bishop of the Holy Church. She's against Orwell herself without her scripture. The whole area is blocked off with the barrier, so neither Momo nor Ashna can come to the rescue. Akari will have to rewind time. I have a feeling that she will have to rewind time. To when? That is the question. To when exactly? And is it possible that she can rewind the time but selectively not rewind the memories? Is it a possibility that she can rewind what's been happening but not rewind Menou's memory about what Orwell did? Or maybe Momo's memory or Ashna's memory, so that they all know what's up, but maybe Orwell doesn't know that they know. Hmm. Timey-wimey shenanigans always bring a lot to the table. A lot of possibilities, but also possibility. No, I wouldn't say that also a lot of possibilities for failure, but I don't think there's gonna be any sort of failure connected to timey-wimey shenanigans in this show. I think that's it. I think that's all I had in me when it comes to episode 4 of Virgin Road. I got some cool new theories. I verified some others. So I guess it's time to end it here. But before we do, you guys let me know down in the comments what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories. Just keep it spoiler free, please. If you have even a slightest inkling of a doubt whether or not something you want to post is a spoiler, just don't post it, don't comment, wait a little bit, a few episodes, wait until the series is done, or go to my Discord server, which you can join completely for free. It's open to everybody. And there's a Virgin Road channel there where you can use spoiler tags and talk about spoilers, or not use spoiler tags and talk openly about things that aren't spoilers, and I will be able to join the conversation if that is the case. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases, not only Virgin Road, but also Spy X Family, Symphogear, Revue Starlight, Skeleton Knight in Another World, and Shield Hero Season 2. If you're into any of that, some of them are gonna be in the cards in the corner, the rest on my channel, so go visit that and check them out. If you want to support me monetarily, you can do so on Patreon. Link right in the description. For just $1 a month, you get for just $1 a month, you get a role on my Discord server that gives access to a special channel where I post some sneak peeks and early previews and bloopers and whatnot. So if you're into that, if you're into more content, just $1 will get you there. And for $10, you get early access to non-seasonal shows, which this time around is Symphogear and Revue Starlight. Symphogear in particular, episodes 5 and 6 are already up on Patreon, so if you want to watch both early, that's where you can do that. And if you want to support me non-monetarily, you can also do that by spreading the word, by sharing my videos, my channel, the information about its existence, because the more you guys spread the word about it, the more YouTube itself spreads the word, and the more other people spread the word, and slowly but surely my channel will grow into a worldwide conglomerate of media production. No, probably not, but it will grow decently well. So that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And one other thing you get as a Patreon is your place in the credits, no matter what tier you subscribe to.